Browns and Chiefs getting together in Kansas City, a battle of two of the worst teams in the NFL. Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kerwin, glad to be with you on the NFL preview show presented by Tyson Anytizers. And if that doesn't get you excited to watch the game, well, I would understand why.
The date is December 20th, 2009, Week 15 of the 2009 NFL season. The 2-11 Cleveland Browns are going up against the 3-10 Kansas City Chiefs. It seemed like a normal late-season matchup between teams that had no playoff implications. Brady Quinn, the Browns' quarterback at the time, had one monstrous game. 66 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, and a jaw-dropping 2 interceptions. But the Browns scored 41 points. How did they do that? To start, Josh Cribbs did contribute. He was one of the only bright spots on the Browns roster, and he showed it in that Week 15 matchup. He returned 2 kicks for touchdowns. It was something that had only been done 9 other times in the 89-year history of the NFL at that point. And that performance by Josh Cribbs wasn't even the craziest thing that happened in that game on December 20th, 2009. It's time for you to meet James Harrison. Wait, wrong Harrison. Sorry, Jerome Harrison. He was a 5'9", 205-pound running back for the Browns from 2006 to 2010, selected in the 5th round of the 2006 NFL Draft. I'm sure that none of you have ever heard of this dude. To be honest, I hadn't either up to making this video. Anyways, Harrison was a backup for a good part of his 6 years in the NFL, and that was the reason he barely played before 2009. His first rushing touchdown came in his 3rd season in the league. He only scored 1 touchdown in his first 44 games. He would get his shot in the latter half of the 2009 season.
Now that Jamal Lewis can no longer play, the Browns don't have many options at running back. So by default, we're getting a good, long look at Jerome Harrison.
In that Week 15 game, he topped some of the greatest running backs to ever play in rushing yards in a single game, hopping Bo Jackson, who had 221 in a single game, Chris Johnson with 228, Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, and Emmitt Smith with 237, LaDainian Tomlinson at 243, Eric Dickerson with 248, O.J. Simpson at 273, Walter Payton at 275, and all of that landed him at 3rd with 286 rushing yards in that game, right below Jamal Lewis at 295 and AP at 296 rushing yards in a single game. He absolutely crushed the Chiefs' defense all day long, ending the game with 3 touchdowns. And one of the 3 came with less than a minute left in the 4th quarter and happened to be the game winner. If he would have ran for 11 more yards, he would have an NFL record. Just the week before, he had 7 carries for 9 yards. He did finish the season on a high note, with 2 more performances with over 100 rushing yards. He would finish that season with 862 rushing yards and about 3 touchdowns. From Week 1 to Week 14, he had just 301 yards. Then, in his last 3 games, he had 561 rushing yards. He achieved just 34% of his rushing yard total for that season in the first 14 weeks. Then, he exploded in his last 3, showing just how insane his Week 15 game was, and in general, how his last 3 games were. That Week 15 performance by Harrison equated for 17% of his career rushing total. If he were to have replicated that game just 5.88 times, he would arrive at his career total for rushing yards. After the 2009 season, Harrison would battle injuries and struggle to get on the field, also being traded to the Eagles and the Lions.
Go through a basic physical, they hold you, cough, all that good stuff, turn your head, touch your toes, stand up. And then he looked in my eyes, and that's when it went south. Dude took the little tube, looked at my eyes like, whoa. I said, whoa, what does that mean? And then I was like, man, let me see the paper. They showed me the paper. He circled it. You see that big white thing? I'm like, yeah, that's not supposed to be there.
After his NFL days, he found out that he had a brain tumor. During surgery, Harrison was paralyzed for short bits of it. During his life, the tables had turned so many times, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Jerome Harrison has fought back for some of the functions in his body.
We're happy, we're thankful. we've been blessed. We've been blessed.